Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us once again in AKL Academy. Today, in our webinar, we will share practical tips to help children with sensory processing challenges enjoy Halloween. We will cover choosing comfortable, sensory friendly costumes, managing overwhelming sights and sounds, how parents, teachers, and therapists can work together to create a fun and inclusive Halloween experience. Thank you for joining us to learn how to make Halloween enjoyable for every child. Hello, Anna. How are you today?
Hello, good afternoon. Pretty good, thank you.
Well, Anna is our occupational therapist. She will be leading this webinar. So, Anna, you can start.
Thank you, Daniela. Well, I'm happy to be here again. And today we're going to talk about Halloween with our children with sensory challenge. As we know, Halloween has a lot of sensory stimulation around the environment, and we really need to be like aware of what is going on about and how can we help our children. Um,
And
so
I'm sorry, can you speak a little bit loud? I think it's not here.
Oh, okay. Now can you hear me?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start. So yeah, the previous one, please. So when we look at these pictures, okay, before we start, I just want to let you know to feel comfortable to add any information or share with us your comments about in the chat box. But yeah, so when we see these pictures, what can we see? For example, for my point of view, I see a lot of like visual overwhelming stimulus around. I see colors. Um, I cannot see, but I can feel that it's loud sounds in the environment. Um, it will be with people. It will be like crowd of people. So if we see those pictures, there is a lot of sensory information that comes to our brain and to our different sensory senses, right? Next one, please. So before we start, it is very important that we understand our sensory system, right? So our sensory system is conformed with all our senses like touch, sound, or hearing, taste, nose, smells, eyes, right? All of those senses give us all the information about from the environment to our brain, how everything is around and how our brain like integrate that information and give us a response. There are another three additional senses, that is the proprioceptive sensory, and the vestibular and the interoceptive sensory system. Those systems give us the information from inside our body, like about movement, about position, about our internal organs. So all of those eight sensory systems give us all the information about what is going on around. And some of us sometimes can like understand or modulate those stimulus around. And that's why sometimes we see children with different reactions and different sensations about what is going on in the environment. Next one, please. So, for example, these pictures let us know some of the common signs of a child with sensory issues or sensory modulation problems. Like, for example, some children hate having their hair washed or brushed or cut. Some maybe have trouble focusing and concentrating. Some of them maybe cry, like when the sun is very bright or with bright lights, they just need to cover their eyes, or with loud noises, they need to cover their ears, or some of them they don't tolerate to be touched, or some maybe they need to touch too much, too deep. So I like these pictures because give us like different type of examples. Like maybe um, I have seen that some children, for example, need to feel the sock right in the place it needs to be, or some of them feel like it's too tight, or they don't tolerate to be with socks on. So all of these things gave us the information and the clues that what our child maybe is processing in his sensory system, and maybe we need to be taking more care of that. Next one, please. So, Halloween, we want Halloween to be enjoyable. We want Halloween to be fun. We want to share it with friends, family, and that's why we want to share some tips today with all of you. Next one, please. Okay, so we talk about the sensory system and what can we see in Halloween about talking in sensory challenge. So one of the most common thing is loud noises, right? Sometimes we are in a place and sudden loud sounds from Halloween decorations or crowd or music, a lot of people talking. So loud noises will be something that we have to be taking care and attention in this um, time of the year. Um, Another thing will be bright or flashing lights. So a lot of like flickering jack o' lanterns or bright street lights, a lot of lights and decoration as we saw in the pictures before. So a lot of visual information will be around in Halloween. Another thing will be itchy or uncomfortable costumes. So, fabrics like polyester or materials with tags that can irritate sensitive skin. So, we may see our child like scratching around or really itchy. So, we have to be really taking a lot of look on that. Crowded spaces. So when we go for trick or treating in busy neighborhoods or school events, can be really overwhelming in our child. And of course, unexpected touch or startling events like jump scares, reaching into unknown textures like slime or sensory beams or sudden movements. So if we see there is a lot of sensory information, and we maybe think that loud noises will be hearing, but on the same side will be like movement, will be touch, will be how they feel the body. So all of the senses are involved in all of these activities and events. Next one, please. Okay, so what signs we see when our child is overloaded? They can be like covering their ears or their eyes. They can become irritable in any time or refusing to participate in any activity that they don't really feel comfortable about it. Of course, meltdowns, emotional distress, or withdrawing from the activity. So maybe they just don't want to be there. Um, we can see as well like increasing staining, like hand flapping, rocking. That will be like the way they cope with sensory overload. So we have to be really taking care and a really close eye on this type of behavior or signs or reactions in our child. Next one, please. Okay, so now we know what can we expect and what can we see in this type of events or activities. So some of the tips that we can do is like, okay, even if you are a teacher or a parent or a therapist, we need to prepare our child for Halloween, right? We need to let them know what is going to happen. I really like social stories to explain Halloween, so we can explain them by books or pictures, or like making a schedule, or what is going to happen. For example, I like this example because it's like showing the calendar and what the day will be, and then how everything will be like coming step by step on that day, like getting the custom on, like going out home, like knocking the door, asking for trick and treat, getting the candy and saying thank you, like all the steps. So if we prepare and we let them know what is going to happen previous to the event, they will be like anticipating the situation, and also we can know that they feel comfortable, or they feel excited or anxious, or how they feel about that day. um Another thing that we can do is like role playing, like trick or treating at home, so we can just do and prepare with games the event, so they know how it works. It's not like the day of the event comes and is the only time they practice, but if we do it before, that will help them like to feel more comfortable in that day. Next one. Okay, so another thing will be like trick or treating strategies will be like scheduled sensory breaks. So if we are in a party or an event, and we notice that our child is overwhelmed, we can have breaks. We can be apart for a couple minutes. We can just be a part of the loud noise or get outside. So feel comfortable to have sensory breaks in that event. I don't know if there's a question in the chat box. Okay, another thing will be use noise canceling headphones. So if we are going to a place that maybe is too loud and we know that our child doesn't feel comfortable with loud noises, we can use like headphones for canceling the noise. And of course, there is always an option, and we can consider like alternative activities in more quiet and maybe in family environment. So we can just try to change the plan if the big event doesn't work for us. Next one, please. Okay, now in regards to the classrooms, all of this month comes with a lot of decoration and parties and activities in regards to Halloween. So what we can do at the school in the classroom will be like dim lights, avoid loud noises, structure Halloween activities with visual schedules. So as we have mentioned in a lot of webinars, visual schedules are a really good tool to work in all the environments of the child. So they will know what is going to happen step by step, or after we go to the playground, we are going to decorate a pumpkin or something like that. So if they have the picture of what they're going to do during the day, it will be easier for them to challenge that situation. And for example, as we see in the picture, there is like a quiet corner in the classroom. So if our child is overwhelmed or is not working well during the activity that maybe we are doing, we can have just a quiet time in that safe space where we have different toys, books, activities, and they feel more comfortable. And after that, they can just go back to the activity and keep joining the rest of the activities that we have planned for them during the day. Next. So in regards to that, always keep in mind like modify Halloween activities. We can use different like sensory beans, different Halloween themes like soft textures, rice, If, for example, my child is scared of, I don't know, I don't know, like hmm, animal that I'm decorating, I can just decorate a pumpkin. Or if they are scared, yeah, like of spiders or bats or something like that, we can just plan and modify that activity with another thing that is more comfortable for them. Um, Replace loud games with calming crafts. Sometimes they really enjoy more, like when they have to touch and paint and maybe find hiding objects. So there are a lot of activities that we can perform with them without like loud noises. Next one, please. So as I mentioned before, providing a quiet zone in the classroom, there are many examples, ideas. We have to think what works for us in regards to our space, our classroom, but we can just set a really like sensory friendly zone in the classroom. Depends of what our child needs, with books or maybe fidget toys or maybe with headphones that will be like canceling the noise, or some children get relaxed with listening songs or music that is soft or environmental music. So it's just to plan a really like spot in the classroom that will help all of the children to feel comfortable. It's not all, it doesn't only work for a child that has sensory issues, it also works for everybody, because sometimes we feel overwhelmed on different situation or different activity, and having that space is really helpful for all of us. Next one, please. Now, in regards to therapists, well, we can help a lot in all of this situation. So sensory preparation, preparing for Halloween in therapy, like planning activities that we can incorporate sensory integration techniques. In regards to Halloween, for example, practice the desensitization to the costumes and sounds, for example, in therapy session. If our child likes to a lot of proprioception, so we can work with the therapy ball, or we can work like they feel like the tightness. um, so we can focus on supporting sensory regulation techniques during the therapy session, and for example teaching them strategies when they feel overwhelmed, like deep breathing, providing sensory tools like fidget toys, so they will know when they don't feel comfortable with something, what they can do to get like calm and help their sensory system and their nervous system to be like more appropriate in regards to what is happening in the environment. Okay, another thing that as therapists we can do is always collaborate with families and teachers. So if our child needs something special or an individualized sensory plan, we can do it for them. So we can help them plan like their daily activity plan. Like for example, if they are in the classroom, we can just set different type of activities that help them to get calm, to get the sensory information that their brain needs, in regards to jump, in regards to touch, to feel, to listen. So we just can plan. There are different type of plans that we can do, and for example, we have those pictures that gave us the information. How can we plan a individualized sensory plan for our child? And we also can do it at home for the parents and for the teachers at the school. um, of course, support parents in choosing activities or events that suit their child needs. So as I mentioned before, if our child is not um, for to attend a crowd event, well, we just can plan an alternative activity that the family can perform at home to enjoy Halloween, and will be more enjoyable for them. Next one, please. Okay, now in regards to the costumes, so there are different strategies that we have to keep in mind if our child has sensory needs. What I will suggest is we need to get to know our child. We need to get to know their sensory needs. If their sensory needs are more in regards to touch, to the feeling of the textures, or in regards to sound, or in regards to visual. So depends what our child needs. We can just create what is more comfortable for them. So the first thing is use soft, comfortable fabric. So choose cotton, bamboo, or other soft, breathable materials instead of itchy fabrics like polyester or nylon. So this will help their sensitive skin, because sometimes we just they can look so cute, but maybe it's not comfortable for them. They can breathe with that. So please keep that in mind, and take a close eye in the costume that your child is wearing. Please, taggles options, remove all clothing tags, or buy tagless costumes to prevent irritation. That's another thing that to keep in mind in regards to the fabric. Okay, the second tip will be avoid mask and headpieces. So skip mask that covers the face or the head. So they might feel claustrophobic. So instead of that, if your child tolerates like face painting, you can switch that, or use just simple accessories. I don't know, like a crown, or different things that they are more used to use, like a hat or something like that. So yeah, things that they don't feel that pressure in their head. Next one, please. The third tip will be like keep the costumes simple. So choose costumes that resemble everyday clothing your child is already comfortable, like a superhero t-shirts, animal pajamas, or character themed shirts. Avoid costumes with too many layers or accessories that might feel restrictive for your child. So if it's simple, it is more enjoyable than with a lot of things around their bodies. Now, the fourth one will be modify tight or scratchy areas. So cut out or alter parts of a costume that might feel restrictive, such as tight sleeves, collars, or uncomfortable seams. Sew in a soft lining, such as cotton, in areas that might rub against the skin. You can replace zippers or buttons with Velcro to reduce the struggle with the fine motor task and improve comfort. Ensure closures are easy to manage and don't cause like pitching or discomfort as well. Another strategy will be use sensory friendly alternatives. So if your child dislikes traditional costumes, consider like fun accessories. Some childs enjoy like using a cap or wings, or I don't know, like different type of sensory, like for example, as we see in the picture, is something simple like a cape or something like that, that is more comfortable for them. So um, for kids who prefer loose fitting clothes, consider oversized costumes. That will help them like feel more flexible and they can move around. Okay, now for the shoes, just incorporate comfortable footwear. So instead of restricted custom shoes, allow your child to wear their comfortable shoes or zippers. Consider decorating those shoes. I don't know, depends what your child likes, but superhero themes or animal print or princesses or something like that. Sometimes I see, for example, with the girls that they are with little tiny shoes that are too tight or they don't feel comfortable with that. So consider comfortable shoes for them. Next one, please. Okay, now provide compression or weighted options. So as I mentioned before, some children maybe they don't want too many tight clothes, but maybe some of them feel comfortable with tight clothes. So maybe consider like a t-shirt that is under the costume that they feel more secure, or maybe the cape will be a little bit heavy a little bit, so that will get them the proprioceptive information. So consider your child needs, and maybe some of them feel more comfort with compression, or with different type of proprioceptive into them, like weight, or the t-shirt or the pants that will be more like to their bodies. Another thing is allow familiar clothing underneath. So let your child wear their regular clothes underneath their costumes. So if they feel more comfortable, they can just have a cap on, especially if they're already comfortable with certain materials. So favorite t-shirts or leggings. So consider that. Leave them use what they feel comfortable with. This creates a sensory buffer between the costume and their skin. And of course, if all of these different type of strategies doesn't work for your child, well, you can just always consider using a Halloween themed pajamas as a costume. And they are soft. They can have different like pictures or themes that you just can make your child feel comfortable and enjoy that day. Next one, please. Now, in regards to another strategy that I always like to suggest is keep with you a sensory calm box. So this is just like a tool for you as a parent, as a teacher, or for your child. So in regards to your child sensory special and individualized needs, you just can keep with you a box with different type of toys, a fidget toy, or something that they can just play with when they feel overwhelmed in a different situation or in different events. So depends what your child enjoy. You just make a box that is comfortable for them. If they enjoy looking the pages of a book, you just can take a book in the box. If they enjoy playing with a ball or squishing a ball, so you can just have those tools with you in regards what where you are going and how your child can just regulate their sensory system. And it is always important to keep in mind that these situations, this event like Halloween, gave us a lot of food and a lot of sweetness and a lot of candies. So keep in mind like the food your child well is having on those days. They anticipate them, because I know that if the child has a lot of candies and they want to eat them all in the same day and the same time. So anticipate them and tell them, okay, we are going to get candies or something like that, keep it in a place, and each day you can have one or two, but anticipate them with the visual schedules. You can just let them know what is going to happen, and let them know that there is not healthy to have all of those candies at once. But you just can plan that situation with your child, but keep in mind that there is a lot of sweetness and a lot of candies around these days. In summary, to end our webinar today, is like Halloween can be an enjoyable experience with careful planning and sensory consideration. And of course, each child is unique. So focus on their individual needs. And parents, teachers, and therapists should work together to ensure the child has a safe and enjoyable experience. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I hope this information was good for all of you. If you have any questions, you can add it in our chat box or you can write it in our YouTube channel. And as soon as we can, we will answer them to you. Thank you. Remember that you found us in all the social media. So all of these webinars have been saved in our YouTube channel. And you can find us as well in Facebook, in LinkedIn, in Instagram. So feel free to follow us and share this information with all of your friends and family and everybody that you feel that this will be helpful. And of course, if you find that this information is important and you want to give us an advice or suggestion about new topics to talk about every month, you can just give us a comment in our Google webpage as well. And we will be happy to hear from all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you everyone for joining once again to AKL Academy. As you know, every 2 or 3 weeks we were getting together to talk about any topic. These are topics that parents ask us to do because they need some help on it. If you need some services from us, don't hesitate on calling. And if you find any value in our services, please you can leave us a review in Google and help us, reaching more families that need some services, help, or just want to join this beautiful community. Thank you, Anna, once again, and thank you everyone for attending today. See you the next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.